don't you start that. Don't you dare start that.
All right, you're there.
Please be seated. Mr. Mosley, cross-examination.
Good morning, Ms. Gordon.
Good morning.
Ms. Gordon, you've known Ms. Okafor for a long time, right?
Say that again?
You've known him for a long time, Ms. Okafor?
I've known him for a long time?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
How long?
Since I was 14.
Okay, and you dated him for how many years?
I have dated him since we had started dating 2011.
Okay. Have you ever known Mr. Okafor to be lanky, skinny?
Say that
Have
again?
you ever known him to be skinny or lanky?
I can barely understand what
You
you're
might want to move that
saying.
microphone a little closer.
Okay. Have you ever known him to be skinny or lanky?
No.
In fact, did you used to do Mr. Okafor's hair when you were with him? Comb
No.
his hair, stuff like that?
No.
Do you know what kind of hair he had?
When we was younger, he had some braids in,
Okay.
but after we, got up in age, just a low fade.
Okay. I'm going to show you a photograph of Mr. Okafor.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
This is how he looked when you, September 10th.
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure the jury heard that question because of the microphone. She heard the answer, but they didn't hear the question, I think.
This is how he looked on September 10th.
Yes, sir.
Did you know Emmanuel Wallace?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you know Nolan Bernard?
Nolan?
Yes, Nolan.
Yes, sir.
And wasn't Nolan related to Emmanuel in some kind of way?
Yes, sir.
What way?
I believe it was cousins.
They were cousins?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you know whether Donnell Godfrey was related to Nolan Bernard?
I don't know that.
You don't know that?
Right.
Right. In fact, you've never seen Donnell Godfrey with Bessman Okafor before, right?
Correct.
I want to take you back to, you said that on that morning of September 10th, that you went to Mr. Ciceron's house?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you ever go into that house yourself?
Say that again.
Did you ever go into the house that
Did
morning?
I ever report to the house that morning?
Yes.
Myself?
Yes.
No, sir.
You stayed in the car?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And it's my understanding that no one ever told you why you were out there that morning, right?
Correct.
No one ever told you what was going on.
Correct.
And you never went to 503 Bernardino Drive, right?
I don't even know where who house that is.
Okay, so you never went there, right?
No.
Okay. And you never heard of any, you never saw any plan or heard about making a plan to do anything that morning, right?
No.
Now, you testified earlier that when law enforcement first approached you, you told them one story, correct?
Correct.
And then that story changed several times.
Yes, sir.
Right. And you told us that they charged you with perjury first, right?
Yes, sir.
And then they threatened you if you don't do what they wanted you to do, they would charge you with murder. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
That's not correct?
They didn't threaten me.
Okay. Well, they threatened to charge you with murder?
Say that again?
Did they ever tell you they would charge you with murder?
No, they didn't. They
I
never
thought you
told-
said on direct examination they was going to charge you with murder.
That's what they did. They did.
They charged you with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they charged you with murder.
Yes, sir.
Now, are you facing a murder charge today?
A capital, after the fact, first degree murder, yes.
Okay. All right, so you were testifying today because you understand if you don't do what they tell you to do, then you would be facing murder charges yourself.
That's not that. No, sir. That is not why I'm doing this.
Okay, so you're telling us that they didn't tell you that you would, if you didn't do what they wanted you to do, you would be facing murder.
They did not say it like that, sir.
They didn't say it like that,
No, they did not.
but you understood that to be true.
No, not really. The only reason why I'm doing this, number one, is to tell the truth and for justice.
Okay, all right. So now, in your plea agreement, they asked you to tell the truth and be consistent with previous testimony in grand jury. You recall that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is telling the truth something different from being consistent with your testimony in grand jury?
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Well, your plea agreement states that you're to tell the truth and be consistent with your statement to the grand jury. Is that two different things?
Okay, if you're quoting a portion of the agreement, show it, if you would, to counsel. Let's see if there's an agreement on what you're looking at. He indicates you're misstating what the agreement says. So let's look at the agreement and make sure we have the right verbiage if that's what you're relying on. If we need a sidebar, I'm happy to look at it. Let's take a look at it. The objection is sustained. Please restate.
Do you recall agreeing to number 4, your plea agreement? May I show it to you? Let you read it first?
Sure. Sure, what paragraph you're referring to.
Okay.
Doesn't paragraph 4 state that you must testify as the state requests you to testify? In paragraph 4. Do you recall this paragraph? The defendant agrees to testify truthfully and consistently with such testimony as requested by the state at any future hearings, deposition, trials, retrials, post-conviction proceedings related in any way to charges. I'm sorry. Trials, retrials, or post-conviction proceedings related to in any way to charges in this case, including proceedings against individuals, specifically including Bessman Okafor.
Yes, sir.
So it tells you that you must testify as they request you to testify. Is that right?
Sustained.
Do you think that if you said anything other than what they told you to say, that you would get some kind of preference in your sentencing?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, I asked you earlier that, again, you told us you had never gone to 503 Bernardino Drive?
Correct.
Okay. Did you ever go there and try and meet with any of the folks in that house earlier?
No, sir.
Miss Gordon, did you have an AT&T phone?
A Sprint phone?
I'm sorry. Let me narrow it down for you. Back September 10, 2012, did you have an AT&T phone?
What kind of phone was it? 'Cause what kind of phone was it?
A cell phone.
What kind of phone was it? What kind of cell phone was it?
Oh, did you have more than one cell phone?
Yes, sir.
You did?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what kind of phones did you have? What companies were you using?
What I had, I had Sprint, and then I had a phone that was from the government.
Okay. And the phone from the government was AT&T phone?
I guess that's what they use. I don't know. You know, they don't say. They just send a phone.
Okay. You spoke of this abandoned house earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Candace Ruffin?
Say that again?
Candace Ruffin, do you know her?
Yes.
Isn't that abandoned house Candace Ruffin's house?
I don't recall.
Have you ever been to her house before?
I have.
And you didn't recognize that house as her house?
No, sir.
Ms. Gordon, you talked to the police officers how many times now in this case?
I talked to them. What are you saying?
I'm saying, before you enter your agreement, how many times do you talk to law enforcement in this case?
I had talked to them a lot.
Give us an idea. 5 times, 10 times?
Probably at least 5. Yeah.
So would that mean you told 5 different lies before you decided to tell them the statement you're telling us today?
Yes, sir.
And you told them this statement you're telling us today after they promised you that they would try and say something positive on your behalf to this judge, right?
Mm.
You told them those lies until someone promised you something, right?
No, sir.
So that's not true.
I say that again.
So you told 5 different lies to law
Okay.
enforcement, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then at some point, somebody promised you something to get you to say what they needed to say in this case, and you're now saying it.
No, that is not the case. Actually, the only reason I'm telling the truth because it needs to be told. And then, you know, I was facing death row, and I have children. So
So that's why you're saying what you're saying now.
the truth needs to be told out. That's the only reason why I'm saying this.
And they told you to say that too? The truth needs to be told?
No, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Redirect. Okay. Let me see it for just a moment. Counsel, for just a second, sidebar. Excuse us just a moment. Folks, the court has to deal with a matter that's going to take about 15 minutes, so I'm going to send you back for just about 15 minutes, and we'll be with you just a little bit. Okay, please leave your pads on your chairs. Do not discuss the case amongst yourselves, and we'll be with you in about 15 minutes.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am. They can take you downstairs. Thank you very much. All right, we'll be in recess. We have to shuffle a couple of folks for the next witness. About 15 minutes if you folks need to take a break. Okay. Sorry, Dave, we couldn't work it out any other way.
That's okay. Just, I mean, it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah,
They want
they,
it back.
and I understand that.
They
There's,
close better.
that's some planning. No, we haven't.
It's a logistical.
We haven't sent them back a lot. We've, sometimes we do.